Joe Shannon Cruz, Fasting Away Fat, and I'm here today to talk about starvation mode. So if you like the information that's in the video, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell will keep you in the loop whenever new videos are posted. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Let me start off by saying I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist. I'm somebody who has spent a lot of time, hours and hours, researching out intermittent fasting and extended fasting, and have read a lot of publications and studies on it, and have been practicing it for about 8 months and have lost about 70 pounds as of now, December of 2018. So, having said all that, I want to jump into the topic of conversation is starvation mode. So, what is starvation mode? Starvation mode is the idea that your body, once it runs out of energy and it's depleting itself, that it will slow your metabolism and that will stop your weight loss. So the idea of how to combat starvation mode is to eat many meals all day long. And eating many meals all day long will help you lose weight. So let me get this straight. If according to research, what the insulin hormone in your body does is it engages your body in fat storing mode. Okay? So if insulin is released every time that you eat, unless you're eating zero carbohydrates, no sugar, nothing that spikes your blood sugar, like I guess maybe if all you're eating was steak and butter, then that won't happen, but otherwise you're getting insulin. And I'm not going to live off steak and butter because cookies are delicious. So having said that, if you're telling your body every few hours or every couple of hours, hey, I'm eating food, store the food energy, and you're putting that energy into fat cells, how are you going to lose fat? How are you going to burn off your thick thighs? How are you going to get rid of your big belly? How are you going to do that if you're always storing fat? That's probably not how that's going to happen for you. The other thing is that until you get to about a 10% body fat, and I'm basing that on studies by Dr. Jason Fung, an in-depth study and conversation on the Minnesota starvation study that literally starved people following the Second World War to try to figure out what would happen to the human body after long periods of time of calorie restriction. So, having said that, calorie restriction is one thing. Intermittent fasting is not about calorie restriction. It is about timed eating. It's about saying, I'm going to eat food. I'm going to eat food till I'm full, and I'm going to eat what makes me happy, and I'm going to feel good about making healthy food choices and enjoying some things that may be considered junk or not healthy, but I can still have those in moderation. And then I'm going to give my body time to go through all of its cycle. I'm going to let it digest the food. I'm going to let it store the energy. I'm going to let it start cleaning house. When it needs to clean house, it's going to get the energy that's already stored in my body right there, that's readily available for it because it put it there to use it. So I'm going to let it have the chance to do it. So that's the reason why I choose to spend somewhere between 18 to 20 to sometimes 24 hours at a time in a stretch without eating food. After, reading the book, The Circadian Code, there's so many great books about what your body does and how that it works that it's time to educate yourself on that and not just buy into the idea that you got to buy stuff, you got to spend a lot of money, you got to cut out things. Like all of these different ways, they're just kind of designed to help us fail. And so we keep coming back more and more and more and more and more. And you don't have to do that. You can educate yourself on what your body needs. Your body needs time to process food, to use the food that it's already processed, to focus the energy from digesting on other things, like I said, like cleaning house. That's what autophagy is. We'll do another video about autophagy later. But starvation mode, until you've hit about 10% body fat, I don't think you need to worry about starving. I think you need to worry about getting that weight off of you, until you get down to where that you're at a 30% body fat percentage, then you've got too much fat on you and you need to focus on getting that off. So that's what I'm doing, and that's the reason why I do intermittent fasting. The other thing about this is I would like for everybody to remember that you've probably already done some form of intermittent fasting. You've probably already have, and you may even have this happen to you on a regular basis. You may have days where that, for example, you have a busy day at work and you don't eat lunch. You skip lunch, and so you've basically gone the better part of all day without eating. That's intermittent fasting. If you eat dinner and you go to bed and then you sleep in the next morning and you don't get up and eat again until brunch time and you've been 14, 16 hours without eating, that's intermittent fasting. If you've had to have a medical procedure where that they've told you, hey, don't eat anything after midnight, unless you were staying up till 11:59 eating, that's intermittent fasting. And my question to you is, did you die? Because what I'm going to tell you about this is this is not something that makes you feel bad. This, on the other hand, has made me feel so much better. And it's done so many other things for me that there's just a whole big world worth of benefits to enjoy from intermittent fasting. So the very idea that telling your body on a regular schedule, every couple of hours or even 3 or 4 times a day, hey, please store fat because we're processing this food, and so you need to take what's good about this food and put it away. If you're telling your body to do that, it's never going to burn off the fat that you stored up last week or 2 weeks ago. And starvation mode is something that happens, and it happens to people. Unfortunately, it still happens in a lot of places. It happens in third world countries. It happens on the plains of Africa. It happened to people in concentration camps. I can't even fathom how that in a society anymore, we've gotten our brains so warped that we think that you need to eat more to lose weight. So having said that, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me today, and hope to see you again real soon. Y'all have a great week.